Hey there guys, how's it going? Tyler here with your movie fix, and today I'm going to be talking about Alejandro Iñárritu's The Revenant. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, and Domhnall Gleeson. Hugh Glass is a frontiersman on a fur trading expedition in the 1820s where things go south after a brutal bear attack and his men leave him to die. To say that this movie was very intense and very uncomfortable would be a ginormous understatement. I mean, just the opening scene alone in this movie was probably one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. You got the fur trappers, they're going off and killing the animals, they skin them, they take the traps and the fur, and they're selling those. And while they're in the middle of doing all this, there's a group of Indians that come by and they pretty much raid the whole thing. You would swear that these guys were actually getting shot in the head for this movie, getting shot by these bow and arrows and these spears. It showed the savagery so well, and that was just such a great opening scene to get you into the movie and really get things going. And after this attack, they're on their way into the boat. And now the group of men is on the run from the Indians, and they realize that they kind of have to ditch the boat if they want to get rid of them. And then one morning, while everyone else is sleeping, Hugh Glass goes out and tries to do some hunting and get some food. And he runs into a bear. Now, let's take a moment and just talk about this bear scene. The special effects in this movie were absolutely seamless. They were perfect. I mean, you only know it's a CG bear for the fact that they couldn't actually get a bear to attack Leonardo DiCaprio, and I can pretty easily say that this scene will be iconic. This was like a 5 or 6 minute scene, and 5 or 6 minutes of this man getting mauled by a bear. I have never heard people react the way they did in a movie of this when it's not a horror movie. With people like yelling and just oh my god, you could hear people saying this and just freaking out watching this happen. And I really do think you needed someone like Leonardo DiCaprio to really sell you on this, that he wasn't really being attacked by a bear, but oh my god, he was being attacked by a bear. And yes, if Leo doesn't win it, that Oscar will go to the bear. Now, this was a very pivotal part of the story because this is when it turns into a survival movie and somewhat more of a revenge story after Fitzgerald, played by Tom Hardy, leaves him to die. But the way you go about doing it was probably not how Fitzgerald should have done it. If there was one way I could describe Hugh Glass's character, he was like the American Rasputin. He went through thing after thing after thing. The bear attack, literally crawling from his grave, broken and torn, to surviving in the cold in the wilderness with no food, while also trying to outrun all these Indians that are hunting after them. Now, the Indians are a pretty big part of this movie, and it makes a lot of sense why they're hunting them. It was the chief's daughter that has gone missing, and they believe that some group of them, they don't know who it is, has taken their daughters. They just send a big group of them on this crusade to go kill all the white guys, which was pretty awesome. Now, this movie was very beautiful. Most of it was shot in natural light. Yes, you cannot shoot a movie like this for 2 hours and 40 minutes, 100% natural light. There's still like over 90-95% of the shots were natural. Some bits where they filmed on a set maybe weren't, but they still had to film it at a particular time of the day, which is a huge achievement to get the look that they did, and scouting the locations and the amount of work that put into shooting this movie was just immense. This isn't a dig to the movie, but I will say the music wasn't like so stand out and awesome, but it was very subtle, it worked perfectly, and it set the tone for this movie very well, and it puts you on this mess of an adventure. Question of, was this Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance? This can be a little hard to say because, you watch movies like Inception or The Departed, Wolf of Wall Street, and I'd say that those are more likable roles in a sense. Like those are easier to watch, because this is not an easy movie to watch and to look at and watch what this man had to go through. I would say that this has to be his best performance. There's no way around it. I don't know if you could have gotten another actor to portray the things that this man had to go through. And a lot of this movie he played without even hardly being able to speak because a damn bear cut his fucking throat. And he sold you on it. He really sold you on his struggle and the loss of his family and almost losing his life. So is this Leo's best performance? I can say this is his best, maybe not his most likable, but there's nothing wrong with that because it's a hard movie to watch. But would I say this is the best performance of last year? That's really hard to say because I really enjoyed Oscar Isaac in Ex Machina, which was maybe my favorite, but I think just the sheer amount of work and the things that Leo had to do in this movie to sell you, I think that this is the best. Will he win? Who knows? He's always deserved it, but he put his A game on, he gave it 100%, and it definitely showed. Now, Tom Hardy, was this his best performance? I think that is a no-brainer that this was Tom Hardy's best performance, and I love him in other movies. But both Leo and Tom Hardy were just 100% chameleons in this movie. But I think this is a no-brainer that it was Tom Hardy's best performance. Now, and he's also up, I think, for the best supporting actor, which I think he does deserve it. Now, I will say that this was a pretty long movie. It's probably around 2 hours and 40 minutes. but nothing was wasted. Now, I've seen movies that are long where you have a lot of wasted shots. I didn't really feel like there were any wasted shots. Everything worked. Everything had a purpose, and a lot of that purpose was to make you really fucking uncomfortable, and it did that. Maybe a downfall is that it didn't really get you an emotional punch like you think maybe this movie would. There was no scene where you're crying because you feel bad or you even get sad. You were just like full of the anger and hate that this guy is, and that's part of Leo's performance, is that he gets you into the character where you're on his side and you're fighting for him. You want this guy to do it. You want him to make it. And I think that's why this movie works so well. But it doesn't give you a sad emotional punch anywhere in the movie, I didn't feel. But it didn't need to. It got you in a lot of other intense ways. This was a fantastically brutal movie that I do think you need to see in the movie theaters. A very beautiful thing to look at. And lots of amazing performances that really make you buy into everything that was happening. I'm going to have to give The Revenant a 9.9 out of 10. So that's it, guys. Have you seen The Revenant, and what did you think of it? And also, what is your favorite Leonardo DiCaprio performance? So that's it, guys. That's all I have for now. Be sure to subscribe for more movie news, movie reviews, and trailer reactions. I will see you guys on the next video.